with grocery stores looking like this. It's easy to get caught up in the mayhem caused by the Chinese coronavirus. However, whether anyone has been keeping up with it or not, there is still an ongoing battle raging between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders to become the next DNC nominee. With Joe Biden now pulling away in the primary election, it's time someone pumped the brakes though and asked the question we're all thinking. Does Joe Biden have dementia? Now, that was blunt, but look, this isn't some slander campaign against Biden. The goal of this video isn't to break down our differences on political topics. At some point though, Biden's blunders have to stop being excused as gaffes and actually be examined. You are probably thinking, it couldn't be that bad, but sometimes it seems he doesn't even know where he is. Just take a look at this.
They don't call Super Tuesday for nothing. By the way, this is my little sister Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh no, this is Valerie, you switched on me. This is my wife, this is my sister. They switched on me.
Joe Biden's gotten to the point he's confusing his wife and sister. And unfortunately for him, his mistakes don't stop here. Watch him as he advises people on where to go at the end of a debate.
If you agree with me, go to Joe 30330 and help me in this fight. Thank you very much.
One would assume Biden became confused and was giving out a phone number, except he only gave 5 digits. Perhaps he might meet up with him in Atlanta? Biden presents a real problem for the Democratic Party. By choosing to support Joe Biden, they are electing someone who cannot verbally spar with someone of the likes of Donald Trump. Whether you like or dislike Donald Trump, he still has the ability to think quickly and slam dunk opponents with lines such as this.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
What is also increasingly frustrating is many liberals hate Trump for his abrasive and sometimes dismissive attitude, especially towards media interviewers, but their alternative goes as far as to insult potential voters.
And you are actively trying to diminish your Second Amendment right to take away your gun.
You're full of shit. Now go to shush. Shush. I support the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment, just like right now, if you yell fire, that's not free speech. From the very beginning, I have a shotgun, I have a 20 gauge, a 12 gauge, my son's hunt. Guess what? You're not allowed to own any weapons. I'm not taking your gun away at all. You need 100 rounds.
So when you were in Veto and you said you're going to take our guns.
I did not say that. That's not true. I did not say that.
It's a viral video.
It's a viral video like the other ones they're putting out that are simply a lie.
Your voice, you said that you're taking the guns.
Well,
he just clarified
it. Wait. Take your AR-14s and what?
Okay, this is not okay.
Hold on. Hey, let's get
Don't tell me all this, pal.
There's a lot of guys. Wanting.
I'm not working.
Thanks so much.
Give me a
So you're arguably the candidate with the greatest advantage in this race. You've been the vice president. You weren't burdened down by the impeachment trials. In the participation. So how do you explain the performance in Iowa, and why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
It's a good question. Number one, Iowa's a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. It was a little bit confusing in Iowa, number one. But let's assume everything was exactly right in Iowa. The idea that you come in with about half the delegates that the leaders come in with in Iowa does not necessarily say how you're going to win Pennsylvania, how you're going to win Michigan, where, by the way,
If you don't know what a lying, dog-faced pony soldier is, don't worry, nobody else does. Probably not even Joe Biden. It's strange though how Joe Biden is able to get away with telling people they're full of explicitives and nonsensical name-calling. If his opponent, Bernie Sanders, made these remarks, it would most likely be political suicide. But for some reason, the media just sweeps Biden's rudeness under the rug. And this highlights a greater problem with political parties. Those of the opposing party care more about winning than choosing quality representatives who will bring forth solid policy. It doesn't matter if Joe Biden is a career-long political snake who's become an incoherent, babbling mess in his old age. It just matters if he can beat Donald Trump. And it's this short-sighted thinking that keeps pushing rational classical liberals out of the Democratic Party. And on top of everything, Joe Biden is just plain weird. We'll end on this story from Joe.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what, the men, they're now all men, the guys I work with down here, and they're all guys at the time. They're all good men.
Well, folks, that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give us a like or subscribe/follow us on YouTube and Facebook. As always, if you're a fan, you can support us on our Patreon. The link to that will be in the description below. I hope you have a great day. Remember to think like a maverick and stay safe during this pandemic.